Welcome to PM Express Business Edition. In times where major economies around the world are looking within because of the global challenge, how is Ghana positioning itself to get the best from its development partners or those economies that they have bilateral relationship? I'm talking about Ghana and the UK government. We can celebrate the political ties, but what about economic and business? Well, on PM Express Business Edition, we look at the Ghana-UK relationship when it comes to economic ties. How can we strengthen it? And how can we get the best out of this relationship? Well, I'm privileged to host His Excellency Papa Osankoma, his Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK. Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it so much. And some would say interesting times to serve as a High Commissioner to the UK.
Yes, I believe so. I mean, because over the past few years, we've had certain landmark events. Of course, talk about the Brexit, and of course, the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And over the past 3 years, you've had a turnover of prime ministers, which is really unprecedented. I think ever since I've been here, this is the fourth prime minister that the country has had. So it's quite interesting times. The COVID too, you know. So these are interesting. These are really, really interesting times. And you will admit that the global economic downturn is also a major challenge for all countries, including developed countries like the United Kingdom. So these are challenging, but also interesting times.
Some will say that we can celebrate the political ties and how strong it has been. But in the area of economics and business, some would say that, do we still have a lot of work to do, some would say?
Well, it's always a work in progress. I mean, we've been trying to do something different to improve upon the relationship, to, as it were, overcome challenges facing the trade between the two countries. So we have the UK-Ghana Business Council, which was set up in 2018, co-chaired by the Vice President of Ghana and the Minister responsible for Africa in the UK, where we meet twice a year, discuss priorities, challenges facing both countries when it comes to trade, if there are any barriers, what actions ought to be taken. And this is another step. Of course, and recently too, at the last meeting in June, well, I set up the UK-Ghana Investors Advisory Group, which is supposed to focus on the private sector and then try and, as it were, you know, see if there are any bottlenecks to investment and trade, and then put in place or make recommendations to overcome these bottlenecks. So we are making the best effort, both sides, to improve upon our economic relations and deepen the economic relations, expand the areas of trade, business, and investment for a win-win situation for both countries.
You've spoken about a very interesting bit, the bit about the win-win, and so that's what some people would ask, that on the Ghana side, what is being done to conscientize our businesses, the private sector, so that they could also take advantage of the opportunities that the market presents to them?
Yes, I must say that over the past few years, we've been doing a lot, and that is where we also talk about support by the UK government when it comes to textiles and garments, automotives, and pharmaceuticals. These are areas that we as a country, Ghana as a country has focused. We have competitive advantage. And so with the help of the UK government and its agencies, trying to train those operatives there finding markets here so that when it comes to exports of these products from Ghana, we can say that, well, we can make an impact, of course, and we signed a trade partnership agreement just early part of 2021, where you have quota-free access to markets in the UK. So a lot depends on us, and with the support of the UK government, we're trying to then identify, as I said, the bottlenecks, and then enable our business people and entrepreneurs in those particular areas to be able to export more to the United Kingdom.
I ask this question because there's always a big challenge about standardization and being able to meet it. And over the years, and for you, since you also took over as well, have we been able to make some significant progress, or it is still work in progress?
It's always work in progress. In fact, I think about a year ago, the head of the Standards Authority in Ghana led a team to the United Kingdom for some sort of study tour, and it's been going on periodically. So all these are an effort to know the standards that are required in the UK and to ensure that those exporting from Ghana are able to meet those standards. In fact, you may be surprised that there are some products that can sell in Ghana. You bring them here, no, they don't meet the sanitary standards. And also because, well, they have a niche market here where goods produced here are sold. But all in all, I believe that we are making an effort. And I must say that when it comes to Ghanaian value-added agricultural products, we've improved tremendously on the packaging. Even when it comes to ordinary, these teas and so forth, neem tree, cashew nuts, etc., and even chocolates, right? We've improved so much upon the packaging, but just that we need to do it on scale so that when we are exporting to this country, we can be able to meet the demand and make sure that we also deliver on time. So I believe all in all, we are making progress, but there's still a lot more to be done. But I dare say it really depends on us. So we are now encouraging joint ventures, right? That, look, you have the skills and the capital. We have the products back home. With AFTA, you have a larger market. Why don't you enter into joint ventures with Ghanaian businesses? And then the strengths of both partners will then enable us to not only increase production, but improve upon the quality, yet still have access to the African market because you are producing from Ghana. And that is really what we are encouraging.
Your Excellency, I'll be coming more into the after deal and what it presents for us and what is the work being done here to also encourage these local or these British businesses here. But back to the trade pact, there are always fears that some of these trade pacts that developing economies enter into with developed economies, it is more of not done in a way that benefits the developing economy, and it's more of a lump-sided or one-sided. Is it a different case when it comes to the Ghana situation on this trade pact with the UK government?
It all depends on the strengths of both parties. I mean, for instance, there are certain products that are brought into this country. If they don't waive taxes on it, we cannot be competitive, even the agricultural products. But when they waive taxes for us, and they waive taxes on them from, let's say, goods coming from agricultural products coming from Latin America, we cease to be competitive because our cost of production is high. So for me, yes, we cannot compete evenly unless we are given certain special advantages over others, right? So in terms of advantages and so forth, well, when you are bringing things from the UK, for instance, and we have a very, very stringent import tax regime. I mean, if we are talking about being exempted from tax, can we then say that goods that are being brought from UK should also be exempt from tax from Ghana?
And that's what the challenge is.
And
quota-free, duty-free for the two parties.
And so it is rather something that, you know, we cannot get the full benefit, because when you get special benefits, other countries who are knocking at the doors asking for the same benefit and they get the same benefit, you don't get the fullest advantage. You would wish that the benefits that you get in other countries will not have, but you're also on the same trajectory, the same level of development with them. But I dare say, once we have the opportunity to get some of our goods here quota-free, duty-free, it is important that on our side, we take advantage of it. And you'll be surprised. I mean, there are companies in Ghana that supply supermarkets with agricultural products like bananas, etc.
Sainsbury, Asda.
Yes. And I mean, the last time we had an event here, one of the exporters from Ghana just went to a shop and bought a bunch of bananas that were brought from Ghana. Many people did not know that we're supplying bananas to some of the supermarkets in the United Kingdom, but it's a challenge. And even palm oil, for instance. Now, we, on one of our recent engagements with some of the importers of goods from Ghana, realized that, well, we're unable to meet the demand for palm oil
in UK
because of our standards, and because previously what they brought did not meet the standard. Now, even though they were looking for Ghanaian products, they were not coming fast enough because of the time taken to ensure that they meet the standards. So on our part, we then have to tell the Foods and Drug Authority to try and make the process faster, whilst not compromising on
standards.
The standards. Let it also be faster. So in a lot of ways, it depends on us. And it's also important for us to take advantage of it to enable us stabilize our currency. Because if we don't do that, we are in trouble. I mean, what does the UK export to Ghana? It's more or less tech IT, equipment. And these are high value equipment. And so you import a little bit, you are asking for a lot of pounds we have to pay. Whilst in terms of the agricultural value added products, we have to export at very huge volumes, which is also a challenge to us. So now our emphasis in Ghana is value added. Everything, let's add value so that you get a better price for a smaller volume, thereby saving or reducing the pressure on your foreign currency.
Your Excellency, you've spoken about the currencies. I mean, you sit here as a rep of the president here in UK, and you're open to a lot of complaints and petitions and all the rest. Did you see this as a major challenge for these businesses who are engaging their partners here when it comes to the issue about the currency?
Yes, the currency also affects the investment drive, because people should be able to predict how much they make. You sell things in Ghana in cedis, and then the currency depreciates. You need more cedis. So it then becomes difficult to convince investors that if they invest in Ghana, they're going to get the necessary returns that they have budgeted for, even though, as compared to other places in the world, I mean, return on investment is quite high in Ghana and Africa, right? But it is important that we also be able to get our currency stabilized insofar as it relates to foreign currency. And that makes business predictable, more predictable.
And aid in even FDIs
yes,
as well.
Yes. But I'm also of the view that, well, all these things is a disincentive to our entrepreneurs to invest in Ghana, because they believe that the risk is high and interest rates will be high. So they will prefer putting their money in bonds and bills rather than invest in them. So that also is something that we should be doing to help us. Hence, our emphasis now on joint ventures, where they bring in the hard currency, they also bring in the skill set in terms of standards, and also open to the market.
Your Excellency, I mean, since you've spoken about stability of currency and all the rest, I remember before I came here, I had an interaction with a director of British Airways, IAG, and he was talking about repatriation of profits also being another interesting developments when it comes to African countries and even Ghana as well. There are some who've argued that, you know, there should be staggering of these FX retention and all the rest. I mean, in terms of your position on this current debate, even in Africa as well, when it comes to these multinationals and whether they can bring back part of their profits or not, and your stability of your currency, what is your take on this whole argument and debate?
Well, I mean, when somebody invests, well, he should be able to reap the benefit of his investment in whatever way he can, all right? So if someone invests in Ghana and he wants to repatriate his profits, generally, there should be no restriction. However, for us, it's also a challenge. It's also a challenge.
Impact on the currency.
The impact on the currency. But the fact is that people are never confident that if they keep their monies in our countries, the monies will be safe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all that it means. Is the security. They wouldn't mind putting all their profits and saving them in Ghana, but they're afraid. They're apprehensive. And you can't blame them. I mean, look at the spate of coups that we've had in West Africa over the past year or two. It does not convey a good message for us and makes people hesitant.
Has it been a difficulty for you as well convincing the business partners here in UK? Because there are some people who look at Africa as one country, and sorry, has it make your work more difficult now, even convincing the business partners here in UK and all the rest to invest in Ghana?
Yes, I mean, yes, it's difficult. I mean, I've been here for quite some years, and we've been engaging people. We've held business promotion events. Delegations have come and so forth. And it got to a stage, I asked someone here, I mean, what more do you want us to do? Yeah. We've been talking and talking and talking, and it doesn't seem as if it is enough to attract the private sector in the UK to invest in Ghana. Why? What is the problem?
What is the problem? I mean,
I'm saying that the problem is that, look, they are not confident. They are not confident about the stabilities of our countries.
The political stability.
The political stability,
Yeah.
and even the economic stability. All right? So we have a challenge. But Ghana, interestingly, we have advantage over others. The political
stability is key.
Yes. And what we need now is economic stability.
Stability.
And also the ease of doing business. It's a challenge. I've had people go to Ghana and they come back frustrated. They say that, well, we couldn't get decisions that needed to be taken early enough. I mean, you'll be sitting, twiddling your toes and fingers, sitting in offices, expecting that they say somebody you need a permit, and it takes so many days, and you have to go to another office. It's frustrating. They don't have time.
Your Excellency, I'll be coming back to you to also see the level of coordination, since you talked about the ease of doing business, GIPC, Foreign Affairs, Trade Ministry, and all the rest. This is PM Express Business Edition as we look at the economic ties between Ghana and the UK. How can we strengthen, how can we improve the ease of doing business for both parties when they come to do business in Ghana? This is PM Express coming to you from London. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to PM Express Business Edition as we look at the Ghana and the UK relationship. How can we strengthen the economic ties? Some will say that we can celebrate the political ties, but when it comes to the economic business, are we doing well in that area, or we still have a lot to do? I'm engaging Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK, His Excellency Papa Owusu-Ankomah. Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time. And as we talk about strengthening the relationship, the ease of doing business, my question that I also want to put to you is about what is the level of coordination between your and the GIPC, Foreign Affairs and Trade Ministry? Because as we press hard on FDIs, some will say that if we don't fix all those challenges, it will be more of a zero game. As you engage all these businesses, all these multinationals, there are more UK firms coming to Ghana. Even just this Friday, there will be an agriculture delegation that is going to Ghana to engage partners as well. But how are you engaging all these actors in Ghana for them to reduce the time of doing business, registering business, and all those challenges?
Well, I mean, we have a trade attaché here from the Ministry of Trade, right? Yes. And Foreign Affairs has economic section active. So we do the coordination, but invariably, I regret to say that on the ground, when it comes to practice and actually implementing decisions, it doesn't go all that smoothly when you get back home. And as I said, I've had a lot of complaints when people go back home. Well, but I believe that it's something that others do. You see, when it comes to money, people don't have time to waste. If you're a Ghanaian, you want to invest in Ghana, you're a Ghanaian. So it's more of some patriotic duty.
Yeah.
But for those
Foreign
investor,
there's no patriotism.
I mean, there's no patriotism. I mean, he just wants to do things in a fast manner and then get on with it. All right? Yes. And then the bureaucracy works against that. I mean, people tell you their frustrations, they want to do business, get something established in Ghana. It takes them years, you know, and it's only after I've been here that I've come to appreciate the frustrations that they talk about. I mean, you know, I've been a member of government, I've been a member of parliament so many years. We always say that we want to oversight government effectively. Well, it's not like we have to take our time to look through documents, etc. Yes, that is all well and good. But at the end of the day, for business people everywhere, for investors, be them local or foreign, they want things to be done expeditiously, just as the private sector does its business.
But, Your Excellency, some would say that knowing where Your Excellency Papa Osu Nkrumah has come from, very powerful. You can put pressure on these actors to fast track. Even though we know that work has been done in some of these areas, there's still a lot more to be done. For someone like your caliber and where you're coming from, you can still put pressure on these actors to correct some of these challenges.
Look, there have been occasions I've even had to call the president
to get things done.
to try and get things done. But it is what it is. I mean, you can't really get the bureaucracy to move faster than it normally moves. Except that we should change our mindset and come to appreciate the fact that the public sector is there to facilitate investment by the private sector. That should be the mindset. And that is not only the mindset too. Well, of course, we also have our own issues. I mean, when it comes to land tenure, etc., I can appreciate the frustrations people go through, and for particularly a foreign investor, you want to be sure that he's got the land title. But even getting title to land, it may take years in Ghana. It's not that easy.
Do you think this is a major disincentive in our quest to attract FDIs from UK to Ghana? Because if we don't fix some of these challenges, which some would say that, well, there's been some progress over the years, it's a major block in convincing more businesses to drive to Ghana when it comes to FDI. Not forgetting that other countries are competing for the same capital.
Well, I mean, in Ghana, we've done a lot. That's why government acquires land. We're now having special economic zones to encourage people to move in, even the one district, one factory, which is targeted basically at local entrepreneurs to invest in areas where we don't have too much of investment in manufacturing, etc. So I wouldn't say we're doing a lot, but we still have more work to do. We give incentives to investors, not only foreign investors, local investors. I would want Ghanaian entrepreneurs, all right, to hold themselves in readiness and be willing to get partners, to make it as part, to get partners.
More joint ventures.
Yes, more joint ventures. That's where you get even more capital at a competitive rate. That is really it.
Engaging some of these businesses here in UK in their quest to come and do business in Ghana, what is their major concerns? And has these concerns been put forward to those who matter? Because, listen, in there's competition for global capital, and we have to correct our challenges to drive any more. In times when we need capital to stabilize the economy, FDIs could be a major route to try and turn the economy around.
Yes, I mean, FDIs, but I personally, I will say that, look, FDIs are important, but people also are interested in the story locals will tell them. All right? We hold some business roundtables, etc., and the message they tell, look, if you want investors, private sector, to be interested in your country, let those already in there tell their story.
The best ambassadors.
Yes, they will be the best ambassadors. So I say that, yes, let's encourage more of our locals to be investing in
domestic
Ghana,
investment.
Yes, and I don't know. Look, sometimes the attitude, even of the average worker in Ghana, somehow a problem.
Excellent. I get from you that for you believe that, listen, George, the best form of attracting people to invest in your country is about fixing the environment, the ease of doing business, and all the rest. And they will be your best ambassadors out there.
That is really it. That is really it. George, I'm asking you, I mean, assuming, well, you may not have, you may have some millions stashed somewhere. Would you be interested in investing in Ghana in a business? You should be. And that's what I believe is, yes, foreign investment just complements local investment. That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
There's been a year of return. There's been a year of trying to encourage Ghanaians in the diaspora to come home. Has it been very difficult for you convincing Ghanaian businesses, Ghanaian entrepreneurs here who are doing so well in UK here, to also see where they can send a fraction of their capital back home?
Oh, I dare say that. I dare say that a lot. I mean, when it comes to even money transfer, these small, I mean, you'll be amazed at the volumes and amounts that are sent every day and every year. But I tell them that the monies you send back home to your relatives and so forth, they don't invest it in business. They just spend it. So I tell them, so they ask me, so what areas should we be investing in? And then they will complain, yes, I tried to establish a business, I left it, and the people destroyed it. And that's a common story. A common story that, oh no, you can't set up business in Ghana and leave it to somebody to manage. You'll be ruined. And that's the story. And that is also not a good story. So we also, as I said, change the mindset in our country. But I'm saying that, look, there are problems everywhere in this country, in UK. They complain a lot. Businesses are closing down because they are not making it. The high streets are getting lost. People are not moving into shops. Globally, it is very competitive. It is tough, but I believe we can make it. And Ghana is on the right course. After all, we've set up automotive assembly plants. Yeah. And don't forget that even before you were born, there were automotive assembly plants in Ghana. Yeah. yes. I remember that in the 60s and 70s, Peugeots were being assembled in Takrady. That was SCOE. You know, so we've gone full cycle and we've come back. But I'm saying that, no, we are on the right trajectory, except that as a nation, we should realize that we are competing globally.
Yeah, and I still want to follow up on the diaspora issue as well. So does it mean that now we're having more Ghanaians try to come home to do business?
Look, you have
the numbers that you see,
have
and
many
more of them to come home to do
have
business.
many more Ghanaians coming back to Ghana to invest. Most of them will be investing in real estate. All right, and we also have professionals, for instance, medical professionals, also interested in coming. And I said that, well, for me, I'm looking forward to Ghana being an educational and health hub and finance hub. These three things: education, health, finance. Because if we are able to get things in place and able to do that, that particular area, the service industry, so much potential, because you have a lot of medical specialists in North America, in Europe, and in UK. And we're also making the effort. Just 2 weeks ago, the Medical and Dental Council entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Ghanaian doctors and dentists. And the idea is that, well, they will ease the process of registration and certification for doctors and dentists passing through the medical, the Ghanaian Doctors and Dentists Association, to come and practice in Ghana for a short while, come and lecture, etc., etc. That is also, for me, an investment, soft investment, not really money. But I believe that these are areas too that are worth considering. All right? Yes.
Let's come to back on the competition globally and our exports. Again, I know that stuff from the South American countries sometimes are quite cheap and all the rest, but also in Ghana's case, is it about how can we compete? Is it about waiving of taxes and exemptions that can help us get into the market, or how are we getting around that challenge?
No, it's just that we need to reduce the cost of production.
That's a major hedge.
Yes, I mean, and that's also when you are producing something and you import, and the raw materials, certain elements, the tax element, and so forth, and exemptions too. I've come to realize that may not be necessarily the best, because then people also take advantage of it, and instead of using the what they've brought into the country to produce, they also divert it. So it's kind of not a straightforward situation. But I always say that it's work in progress. First, we're talking about adding value to our raw materials, our cultural products. That is the area where we, as a country, we are emphasizing, all right? Because that is a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Yes, hence the one district, one factory. If everything we produce in an area, we are adding value, and then we have a factory, it should be possible for us to have better return for it and be able to export.
Last week, I engaged the chief executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, and I asked him the question about how the IMF program had helped in him engaging investors outside the country, and how it's more of help with some stability and all the rest. Does the same apply to you engaging investors and development partners even here about the fund program that Ghana has secured and how that is giving some stability to the economy in terms of the outlook?
Yes, as I told you, I mean, if your economy is considered unstable, it scares investors. And so this IMF program has helped. Yes, it gives confidence to investors and even to those who are lending money to private enterprises in Ghana. And of course, even for the UK, because the UK has facilities for local UK firms investing in Ghana.
Tell me more about that one.
Yes, I mean, so they have, and that is what is being used to do a couple of projects. I think the market in Kumasi, the Kumasi airport, and so forth. Yes, that is also another strategy that the UK is using to assist, so that if they have access to some of these things being done in Ghana, then they will advance them resources at a lower rate than the market rate. And that is also another strategy.
Your Excellency, I'll be coming back to find out, puts Brexit, what is the level of relationship with us in the UK government when it comes to development assistance? There were some rumors that because of Brexit and the UK government is scaling back on support for a lot of countries. And now that Ghana is measured as a lower middle income country. This is PM Express Business. And just look at Ghana and UK relationship. How can we strengthen the economic ties? Engaging His Excellency Papa Nkrumah, he's Ghana's High Commissioner to UK. We'll be right back after this break. Back to PM Express Business Edition as we look at Ghana and the UK relationship. How can we strengthen the economic and business ties? Engaging Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK, His Excellency Papa Nkrumah. Your Excellency, development assistance, Is it true, and from your end, that the UK government has scaled down support to low middle income countries like Ghana because they are rationalizing their assistance post-Brexit?
Well, generally, almost all countries are cutting down on development assistance. And of course, for Ghana, we are talking about trade, not aid.
Okay.
So, in that respect, we are engaging the UK government for assistance to enable us trade more with them rather than handouts. So it's not that generally aid is being reduced, but it's also being turned into trade support.
But some will say that financial funding has been scaled back. That's a fact.
Well, for us in Ghana, I wouldn't say so. I mean, it depends on your priorities as a country. For us as a country, we are saying that yes, we need aid, but we need aid to enable us be more competitive. That is why I said, well, we have a program like JET where garments and dresses or something, we are seeking assistance to improve upon the skills, to enable us export more. The same with pharmaceuticals, the same with agricultural products. We need aid to enable to build our capacity, to enable us meet the standards here. So in that respect, I wouldn't say that because we are a lower middle country, aid and so forth has been scaled down. However, it's been converted into assistance to enable us to be more competitive globally. And that is the focus.
How is this technical assistance going in terms of the support that, so for you, sorry to just to go back again, it's not you shouldn't see that as a challenge that because that financial assistance has been reviewed to trade, then Ghana will be at the losing side.
No, I wouldn't say we are on the losing side. Your capacity is being built. It is not something that you are hungry, so you are giving us food. No, it is enable us to be able to earn more for ourselves. And that is the focus of government. And generally, that's the focus of Africa, generally. And I dare say that for us in Ghana, that sort of assistance is not so much of a priority. But that's not to say that we don't need it. But I'm saying that now the focus is more on trade assistance rather than aid, as we know, where they bring in things for you to assist, or even their assistance should be going into areas like education. Education, not or let's say agricultural products, improving the skills of agric workers, etc., farmers, etc. That's what we're interested in.
After you spoke about it earlier on, and what is the opportunities, or what is being told the UK businesses about the opportunities that AFTA presents to them and the Ghana relationship?
Look, AFTA makes the whole of Africa one market with no barriers. And we know that when you use things on a large scale and you have a market, it makes cost of production lower. So what we're saying is that come and invest in Ghana with local partners for whatever you want to do. You get the advantage of 5 billion market for you. And of course, Africa, we are having a growing middle class in terms of population, in terms of young people. So the market potential is huge. So we are saying that if you invest in Ghana, and Ghana is on zero on the equator, Ghana is politically stable. Ghana has a core human resource that is quite educated, that is quite hardworking. So if you use Ghana as a base, then it means you are stepping into Africa. And Ghana is very close to the biggest nation in Africa, Nigeria. And so you have access to the Nigerian. So these are sort of the messages we are conveying to them, that if you invest in Ghana, then you are going through the gateway to Africa. And so we, as Ghana, should then position ourselves so that our talk is commensurate with our work, and not people to come and think that, look, we're just advocating with nothing solid on the ground. So I believe that is the message that is going on. I mean, we have the skilled workforce. We have the skilled workforce, so whatever. Even in IT, we have a skilled workforce. So why don't you invest if you want? So that's the story we tell it.
British Airways says the post-pandemic, again, they've seen some strong recovery in terms of the travels between Accra and London. They've even added a Gatwick route. Yes. The inaugural flight had so many Ghanaians even coming from Accra to UK as well. For you, what do you make of this development about a big player like that offering advantage to Ghanaians to travel here and even do business as well?
No, you see, yes, they offer advantage, but I would prefer a national airline doing that too. Yeah. Okay? And I know that it's in the works.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think that would add more value
of
to
course,
us?
Of course, because the national airline will also be sensitive to the national economy and the concerns of Ghana, and also retain investment. As it is, whatever is made is invested here.
Yeah. In your recent interview with us as Joy FM, you described the incident as worrying, but progress is being made. When it comes to this Trafigura issue and attaching part of our property, what's the latest? Have we made any progress on that one?
Oh, I believe that it's work in progress. I mean, you are in Ghana, you can discuss with the Minister for Finance, and I'm sure he will give you the latest brief. All right, yes, but I guess it's an unfortunate incident, but of course, you know, it also doesn't give a good impression of our country. However, I believe that it was exaggerated. All right.
Help us, and when you say the exaggeration, as in the media reportage,
it's a media reportage. I mean, it was one property that was attached, that has been attached.
Which property in
Yes,
question?
that's what Ghana International Bank.
Okay.
Where Ghana
it wasn't the Commission's building?
No. It wasn't this building. It was not my residence. It was not the passport and visa section at Highgate. But the impression was given that, oh, even this building was under threat. It was going to be auctioned, etc., etc. But that's not to say that whatever has happened is something positive. Yeah. It's definitely negative. But the assurance I can give you as High Commissioner is that whatever has happened has not affected the work of the High Commission.
And then that's what I was coming to.
Or the services we render to Ghanaians, you know, except that, well, it would be better if it had not happened.
Yeah.
But yes.
So business is going on, diplomatic engagement is going on.
No,
business, none of that has affected your business engagement.
No, even for Ghana International Bank, it has not affected their business. You know, except that you know, where your property is being seized because you have not satisfied the debt, it's not really something. But I know It's because of the peculiar challenges we faced at that time. I'm sure they are working on it.
But this was not just to, I'm saying that being the High Commissioner here, obviously in every high-level decision, you will be drawing your attention. So that's why I was asking what is the latest? Have we made some significant progress in settling this issue for the attachment to be reversed, or what is happening?
I know the Ministry of Finance is taking steps to settle the debt. Yes.
And for you, would you say that never again? Because for you, the worry and the tag attaches to
I would not
the Ghana mission here in UK.
I would not say never again. Don't forget that I've also been Attorney General before, and sometimes I appreciate some of these things. I mean, there are cases you believe that, well, there are cases that you should fight to the teeth. Sometimes it's a matter of principle. You need to take a stand in respect of certain matters. So, yes, I would say that, well, let's hope never again.
You think we shouldn't have gotten here? I mean, as a senior counsel as well, some would say that Nkrumah's expertise also could have been sought. I'm
the High Commissioner. When it comes to
you're a senior lawyer.
Yeah, this is really
your practice in Ghana.
This is really a financial matter.
Yeah.
And I know, yes, government has to prioritize payments, particularly at the time when we are going to the IMF. It's tough. I mean, we've been caught between a rock and a hard place, the devil and the deep blue sea.
Yeah.
But the assurance is that, no, we're going to move out shortly. And I'm sure when you go home and you talk to the finance minister, well, confidentiality accepting, he may give you an update on it.
But for you, the assurance is that we wouldn't move into that final decision where the property will be sold to defray.
That is the assurance. The assurance.
And so that's what you tell Ghanaians, that we shouldn't worry, and that actions have been taken.
Oh, yes.
Your final words for Ghanaians out there who still look at how we can strengthen our relationship with the UK, the opportunities that it's available for people who come through the right routes.
No, I would say that I would prefer somebody to remain in Ghana, make his money, and come here on holiday, rather than coming to live here. Yes, I mean, you should know it's not easy here. I mean, but I must admit that the opportunities are better. I mean, when opportunities and also challenges. I mean, we have Ghanaians here whose children have turned out antisocial. Why? Because they are not unable to have time with them, to train them. Whilst the children are at home, they are working, trying to make money. But there are also Ghanaians whose children, highly educated, highly accomplished, they may not have had the opportunity if it were in Ghana. So, in every situation, there are challenges. But for those of us in Ghana, I would say that, well, let's work hard. It's not easy anywhere. Let's respect our money, all right?
And stabilizing the money, making the city strong.
Yes, and let's not think that it's easy to get money. You have to work before you earn income. And the income you earn, you have to preserve it. You have to look after it properly. Your lifestyle must be commensurate with your income levels. I mean, here, a pound is very, 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 very difficult to come by. You don't get anybody to give you a pound. In Ghana, well, people will give you 5 cedis. Sometimes I hear now, when you give somebody 5 cedis, you think that it's worthless. Even 10 cedis is too little. But let's work hard and save. I know Unemployment is high, yes, but let's work continuously on this, all right? And of course, I know that for a generation like yours, you should be able to make a significant difference. I mean, for my generation, we've done our part. But I'm optimistic because, you see,
about the outlook of the economy?
The outlook, what, yes, and everything. I mean, because you
come here, the economy is the most important.
No, but the economy, yes, but our economy
been through some challenging
being through some challenges, but
that has impacted on everybody.
But now we tried, we're getting there. I mean, I say that when you go to Ghana and you look at the way people spend money, you wonder whether it's a reflection of the nature of the economy. Yes. But here, it is tough, and the lifestyle of people show you that it is tough. Yes.
Your Excellency, I appreciate your time, having time, your busy schedules to engage. This has been the PM Express Business Edition, coming to you from London, engaging Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK, Your Excellency, or His Excellency, Papa Owusu Nkrumah, talking about issues on economy, bilateral trade, FDIs, working hard, according to the advice from the Excellency Papa Owusu Nkrumah to us. And I know that the debate will still go on how we can strengthen our ties with the UK and for Ghana to benefit more in terms of FDIs. My name is George Jaffrey, coming to you from London. That is the High Commission in UK here on PM Express Business Edition.